Hi, everyone. Welcome to our April 7th edition of the Microsoft 365 Pulse Roadmap webcast, where we look at the roadmap and do a little bit of digesting it for you so you don't have to. Um, Today, you've just got me, Tom, and my wife, Tamara.
Yes.
So, the Tam Tom Show today. So we are going to go ahead and cover the four different categories that we can prospectively see in the roadmap. For those of you who haven't joined us before, it starts off with in development. These are the changes that Microsoft is actually working on back at wherever they're working on them at. And they then from there progress to rolling out. Rolling out means it's starting to work its way out to the tenants for whatever changes are targeted for those tenants. That could be commercial, that could be GCC, GCC high, or DoD. Then after that, we go into launch. Those mean that if you are in the tenant to which it was targeted for, you should have it by now. And then sometimes we have a fourth category, which we don't this time, canceled. And those are ones where they've either found duplicates or they've decided they're not going to do it for some reason. But again, we do not have any of those today. So let's go ahead and get started with the in development. Are we done, Yanni?
Yes.
Okay, I will hand it over to Tamara. Tamara, what kind of things in development make you happy this week?
Well, I was a little excited to see some information about Microsoft Access.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, so modernize Access forms and reports to work well on large format monitors. So remove that 22-inch size limit and modernize Access forms and reports work well on large format monitors and provide responsive behavior for different form factors. So that's coming out in July. And then also calendar support in Outlook for copying, cutting, and casting. I think that's supposed to be
It's
pasting
pasting according to the description details.
events and appointments. So now you can copy, cut, and paste meetings and appointments on the calendar in new Outlook for Windows, hashtag, with Control C, Control X, and Control V, the common shortcuts that you've come to know and love.
I think that is so
That's,
cool.
yeah, that's coming out in April. So sometime this month. And then face recognition in Teams rooms on Windows with Cloud IntelliFrame. So facial recognition is enabled in organization policies, and you've enrolled your profile via team settings. Team Room on Windows using the Cloud IntelliFrame will recognize you, list you in the meeting roster, and optimize camera views for participants, making hybrid meetings feel like you're all in the same room together. Now, I should point out that this feature is only available if you have Teams Rooms Pro.
Sounds good.
And then two of them email notifications for PowerPoint and Word that allow a context preview for files protected with Microsoft Preview. This means when you like you put in a comment and you mention somebody or assign them a task or make comments or replies, they'll now contain a context preview even when the source document is encrypted. And the email will inherit the document security policies. So I thought that was really cool. What do you like, Tom?
So it wouldn't be a week of changes unless we were using the C word, which is Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
There are Copilot changes, of course. First one that we'll talk about is SharePoint Agent Web Part. So SharePoint site pages, page authors can add SharePoint agents to their pages with an agent web part, allowing end users to easily access and interact with SharePoint agents directly from the site pages. So these are like agents where perhaps you've got this little chat bot that is scoped for this particular set of documents and you can ask questions against it. Instead of you having to go somewhere to do that, they can actually take you to a SharePoint page and have a web part that allows you to have that access right from within the page. I think that's kind of cool. That's coming out in July and it's worldwide. And then we have Copilot. Select some text and instantly get helpful options from Copilot. So the Copilot icon in your document margin, excuse me, gives you a variety of actions you can take on your selected text. One click allows you to rewrite, get editorial coaching, and more. So this makes it really easy if you've got like one difficult sentence, you're like, don't think this is working really well. You can basically highlight that text and you're going to get the option to either, hey, rewrite this, give me some editorial coaching, give me some input, things like that. So it can help you with individual lines in a document instead of saying rewrite the whole thing for me, which is really nice. Continuing on, Microsoft Copilot, drafting on a selection includes being able to reference files, people, emails, and meetings. So just like when you're using Copilot to draft content on a blank line in your document, you can now reference resources that provide context in addition to the content that you've selected in your document. So for instance, you've got a document, you've got a paragraph highlighted, you want to have it rewritten, summarized, do whatever. Well, now what you can also do is when you're in the process of drafting that content, you can also say, hey, and when you do this, bring in this other file as context and figure that into whatever I've asked you to do. So instead of having to say, bring in this additional information for the entire document or the entire thing that you're working on, you can basically narrow that down just to a highlighted area in your document and bring that in. That's really cool. And that is also coming out in July, and it's also for Word. So this is when you're doing that with Word. This also, let's see, actually, it's got another one that looks exactly the same. So I do not know why they have two that are the same, but one's coming out in July and one's coming out in August. So you're going to get it at some point.
Probably different tenants.
Well, I thought they both said worldwide. Yeah, they both said worldwide. I have no idea. They look exactly the same though. Let me take a look and see what other things. Let's see. Oh, this is one that I found really cool because I tried to do this the other day. I thought, well, that sucks. Outlook, edit from this and all following events. So the description is you can now edit a recurring event from a certain date forward by selecting this and all following events. In my particular case, I had this ongoing recurring meeting that goes back a number of months and goes forward a number of months. And I wanted to make a change starting on this week going forward. And I was like, okay, edit, make the change. It's like, sorry, you need to edit the entire recurring thing. And I'm like, well, I really don't want to change the ones that already happened, but I guess I have to. Now with this particular change, you're going to be able to say, okay, make this particular change from the one I'm highlighting right now going forward. So you don't have to go back and change ones that you've done in the past. That's for worldwide and will be coming out in May. For those of you who have shared mailboxes that you use, apparently the way they display in the folder pane in like New Outlook for Windows has been less than ideal if you're used to classic SharePoint or classic Windows, classic Outlook on Windows. What they've done now is to conform with the behavior of classic Outlook for Windows, we are moving shared mailboxes to be displayed in the same way that accounts are displayed and adding a shared icon to give users a visual distinction between standard mailboxes and shared mailboxes. So that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to tell exactly what you're looking at when you are in New Outlook for Windows, hashtag all those good things. That's coming out this month for the worldwide. Tamara, do you have any other things you'd like to?
I do. I have a couple more.
Okay.
Microsoft Teams specify who can manage the screen in Town Hall. So a new option in Town Hall lets organizers designate who can manage the screen during the event. Now, selected individuals will be able to start the event, manage what attendees see, and end the event, ensuring a smoother, more organized event experience. That is coming out in May, and that's coming out to the worldwide tenant. Then we also have Microsoft Teams detect sensitive content that's being shared in meetings. All right, this is great. You
I'm
can't
really looking forward
email
to
the
this one.
sensitive information, but you can screen share the sensitive information until now or come May.
Come May.
So, screen content shared during a meeting is protected by detecting sensitive content and alerting the presenter and organizers when it appears. So, that is going to be very helpful, especially if you're dealing with credit cards and social security numbers. And that's coming out to the worldwide tenant.
Yeah, I can see that
Then,
being really cool for us because we get a lot of people who are like, hey, we're doing a presentation, we're sharing this information, and they happen to bring in something that's PHI related, which they shouldn't.
right.
And this will be really cool if it's able to detect the fact that, yes, what I'm seeing on the screen contains PHI. I'm going to let you know so you can shut it down really quickly. I love that idea.
Yeah. And then Clipchamp got some love in Windows 11 with Microsoft Clipchamp Worldwide or Windows widget on Windows 11. Say that 3 times fast.
I won't even try.
Thank you. Users will have a quick way to launch screen recording, camera recording, and create video projects. Also, the camera in the editor will be updated to a newer version with improved recording controls and command bar options. Now, this is coming out in May and it's hitting the worldwide tenants. The last thing I wanted to touch on in development is Microsoft Excel, extending support for Insight services to GCC High and DoD sovereign clouds. So,
Ooh.
GCC High and DoD sovereign cloud customers will be able to use features in Excel run by Insight's services, including analyze data found on the Data tab. That's coming out in May and again to the GCC High and DoD environments. Tom, did you have anything else in development?
No, I don't. So I'm going to allow you just to roll right on and go into rolling out.
Great. Microsoft Teams quick sharing of files in Teams. So this means that you'll be able to share a file from a chat conversation, shared tab, or a channel post to one-on-one chats, group chats, or channels with fewer clicks. When the files are shared, their permissions are maintained, ensuring that recipients have the appropriate access rights. And you can add additional information to your message and at mention recipients for greater clarity and alignment. So I'm excited about that. And that's coming out to the worldwide tenant. And then Microsoft Teams is simplifying the notes pane in meetings. So Microsoft is updating the notes pane in meetings to streamline the design and make key controls more clear. First, they're renaming the header from meeting notes to just notes to match the pane name in the meeting toolbar. Second, the file level controls like open in a new window and copy component are combined into a single header at the top for simplicity. As part of the single header, the control to open the component in the Loop web app, will be found in the ellipsis menu in the top header and no longer in the page icon.
So basically, they're moving your cheese. You'll find it somewhere. It's just not in the same place.
It's just under more options.
Cool.
What do you like in rolling out,
Well,
Tom?
I'll take the other two because there were only 4 in rolling out this week.
Mm-hmm.
First one I'll take is Microsoft Teams customize the location of Teams notifications on the web. It kind of, I find it interesting that this is rolling out because I thought we've had it for some time because I remember doing a tip on it weeks or months ago. And apparently it never quite made it out to everybody or whatever. But
This is
now
on the web. So it's not the desktop
that's on the
version, it's
web.
the
Thank
web
you. I
version.
made that
Yeah.
same mistake last time. You've got it in desktop, now you have it on the web. You
Mm-hmm.
can now customize where your team notifications appear on your screen when using Teams on the web. Thank you. Options include bottom right, bottom left, and top left, allowing you to choose the most convenient and least intrusive location for a better experience and productivity. That's coming out this month, or rolling out this month, to everybody, GCC, GCC High, DoD, and the regular worldwide tenant. And then the last one that I'll mention, just because I love the way that they've named these things. So in Microsoft Teams, the Queues app will add monitor, whisper, barge, and takeover. Like, barge, what's that? So authorized users will be able to enter into a monitoring session with selected agents for private coaching. They can listen to customer calls, whisper to the agent for private messages, even barge into or take over the call. I would love to have that feature so many times. That is rolling out this month to the worldwide and GCC tenants. And
Why
then,
don't you take all of launch, sir?
sure, why not? There's not that many.
No.
First one under launched, and that's Outlook, sort by category. This gives you the ability to sort by category in Outlook for the Mac. You probably have this capability in non-Mac computers. Now you've got it in Mac. That's launched this month, and it came out to everybody. Second one, Microsoft Edge version 136, authorized group settings in Microsoft Edge for Business. So this one, the authorized group setting enables that Edge respects the settings for printer groups, removable USB device groups, and network share groups in the Microsoft Purview compliance portal. It prevents users from bypassing data loss prevention protections by using Edge, thereby enhancing security and compliance. And the final one is also Edge related for the same version, feature usage data sync. So Edge Sync, which enables users to synchronize their Edge user data across multiple devices, is now launching a new sync data category called feature usage. The new category will allow users to synchronize data regarding their utilization of Edge features across all their devices. So if you have multiple computers and stuff like that, you'll be able to keep them more in sync with Edge, which will make your life a whole lot easier. And with that, that pretty much covers all the things that we have this week. I expect to see probably more and more things appear either in development or being rolled out, because we do have the SharePoint conference coming up the first week of May. So that's getting close, and that's when they like to roll out all the big things. And now announcing this week, boom, available. So
I
expect to
wonder
see.
if they'll have announcements about Copilot.
Oh no, I don't. Boy, I'm sure they won't talk about Copilot at all.
No.
At all. Except maybe at lunch. Yeah, I'm expecting to see a whole lot of Copilot. Tamara is actually presenting a workshop at the conference
With Jennifer Mason.
And I'm attending as an attendee. So yeah, normally I'd go as arm candy for this lady, but this time I'm actually going to be doing my own thing, and we'll meet up sometimes during the day, I'm sure. But anyway, everybody, I hope you have a really good week. I hope you gain something out of this to be able to find out things that are coming up that you need to adjust for. And with that, have a great rest of your, Monday if you're watching this, whatever day you are watching it, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.